I'm a big lover of myth, and every movie that I've done in the last couple of years has all been rooted in stories that are much older than the contemporary telling of them. And so usually that means I end up doing something that's an independent film. But when this script came along and I saw that this was an opportunity to tell these old stories in a way that's bigger and immersive, it's IMAX and it's 3D, it's huge, and we're talking about one of the greatest myths of all time. I couldn't resist. Kong is such a huge part of the mythology of cinema, and it tells this incredible story that is really timely, dealing with the issues that we're still dealing with today when it comes to man versus nature. So if we want to talk about agriculture or war, these huge things that we are still grappling with as human beings and trying to find a way, instead of fighting with something, to actually work with it. And I think this is such a great way of telling that story in a way that's still fun and entertaining and interesting to watch. I think there's something really beautiful about the fact that Kong is king. I mean, he's the biggest thing on this island, and yet he doesn't choose to use that power in a way that's harmful. He defends when he needs to, but for the most part, he's actually a quite peaceful character. So I think there's something quite lovable and redeeming about that fact. That it kind of reminds me, maybe this is a stretch, but I just remember the first time I ever was with an elephant. And I was like completely intrigued and totally terrified at the same time. Like I kept taking a step closer and then running away and then coming up closer, because there's this gentleness to their soul, but at the same time, you know that they are the one with the upper hand. They can crush you at any moment, and yet they don't. And there's something really wonderful about that. We've taken bits from Hawaii, Australia, and Vietnam. Vietnam in particular is very special because it's never been captured on film before in this way, in these locations. But everything is, in a lot of ways, untouched. We're trying to get nature in its raw form and its wildness, and show the diversity of the island, that the island isn't just a place that looks specifically like one thing. As you continue to travel through it, you see the variations. There's desert, there's trees that look like they're falling apart, there's trees that are also squishy, there's rivers. And so having that play of there being parts that are more dry and parts that are more lush add to a texture of the film.